Search engine optimization can be complicated, and in this video I want to help to simplify it. Now this is a continuation of another video that I'd done on how you can basically learn search engine optimization for your business, and links to the first section will be in the description down below. So I highly recommend watching that video if you haven't already before you go on to watching this video. But in this video I'm going to be kind of continuing some of the themes that we've spoken about in that video and showing you the important things that you should be keeping in mind, important but basic, when it comes to search engine optimization for your business's website. So firstly, in this video, I wanted to start off by speaking about backlinks. Now, backlinks is something that I speak about a lot on this channel, and I'll leave some really useful resources to some of my previous videos where I've spoken about backlinks in the description down below. Make sure you go and check those videos out to kind of get a firmer understanding of how to obtain backlinks. But I want to kind of explain what backlinks are and why they are important for your search engine optimization efforts. Now, when you first publish a website, it's not going to kind of have much credibility yet because nobody knows about it. And the search engines firmly understand this. You need to kind of prove that your website deserves to be ranked in Google and in Yahoo and in Bing for the type of keywords that you want to be ranking for, but also in the position that you want to be ranking for as well. I'm sure you would agree with me that ranking on page 1 for a particular term is a lot more valuable than ranking on page 5 or page 6. So there's levels with regards to ranking on Google, and you want to make sure that you're giving your website the best possible opportunity to not just rank in search engines, but to rank in the position that you feel you should be ranked. And one of the best ways to help you to optimize for this is to utilize backlinks in the right way. So a backlink is when another website leaves a link to your website. Now you can actually leave links to specific pages that are of importance, and this can kind of really help your credibility in the eyes of major search engines. So I, for example, have a website called DeyTips.com, and I speak about different marketing tips and tricks on there. Now, if I have a high authority website in the eyes of the major search engines, and let's say you, for example, are starting up a company helping people with their SEO, you don't have any credibility yet. But if I write an article on my blog and I reference your website and I leave a link on in my blog article to your website, then Google and the other major search engines can actually see those links and track my website's link back to your website. Now, what these search engines will see is, wow, DeyTips.com has linked to this new website. They probably wouldn't be linking to that website if there wasn't something of value or something really high authority on that website. So what will happen is that backlink is kind of like a thumbs up from me to the search engines to say, yeah, that website is high authority and the information there is relevant. Now, if say, for example, 100 websites that are highly authoritative also linked to your new SEO website, then that's going to dramatically boost the confidence of search engines that your new website is highly authoritative. Now, there's a couple of things that you want to keep in mind and be wary of. You don't want to just go and get links from any old website. I want you to kind of focus on the fact that I've mentioned high authority websites linking back to yours. You don't want to just pay for spammy links from these low authority websites that don't have much content. And there are some websites out there that will sell you links from their website to your website, but you want to make sure you're getting links from websites that are authoritative, that are not spammy, and that you're not trying to game the system, but you're actually building your links in an authentic way. Because if you do things in a scammy and suspicious way, then this can actually negatively affect how well your website ranks in Google, and you could be penalized and removed from Google altogether. So you want to make sure you do things in the correct manner. Now, I will be doing more in-depth videos about backlinking and how to do it appropriately, where to kind of source your links, and what to think about with regards to your links. And you can also do what's known as internal linking as well, which is where you might have a page on your website that speaks specifically about a certain topic. And if you link to that page from other pages on your own website, that's known as internal linking, and that can also help your search engine optimization as well. Again, I will be doing loads of videos on SEO. I won't just be having this series, but after this is finished, I'll be speaking in depth about these kinds of topics, so make sure you stay tuned. But the big question I often get is, Sam, how do I find high authority backlinks to link back to my website? Now, there are a number of ways to do this, and the very first way is to create content that is actually really useful. So creating content and resources that is useful and somebody might want to link to, and you can gain links kind of authentically through this. So for example, if you are a fitness instructor, you might have a website that kind of at the moment only tells people about the products or the services that you have on offer, but you want to create a blog page on your website. It's super important to have a blog on your site where you can actually offer resources and you can actually speak about things that are important to people who might also be interested in purchasing your product. You want to serve your community. So the more you're serving your community, the more valuable your website is and the more likely you are to be linked to. So for example, this YouTube channel is a form of a blog. I also have a blog on my website as well, DeyTips.com, and I use those two platforms to constantly put out content that will help people who are entrepreneurs to kind of do either SEO or paid marketing, so on and so forth. And this is free content, free resources that I utilize. Now, my website as a result has been linked to from some really high authoritative websites because there's useful information there. So if there's useful information there, then organically you're likely to be found and you're likely to be linked back to. Now, this is obviously a more long-term strategy and you can speed things up. And another way to kind of get backlinks to your website is to do some outreach. So you may want to outreach to high authority websites within your niche that also blog about topics that you could potentially add some value to. And this is called guest blogging. Now, guest blogging is something that's super important, and I do some guest blogging as well. I've done some in the past to help to kind of push some backlinks back to my website. But if you notice that there's a website in your niche that is highly authoritative, normally you can actually kind of reach out to these companies, reach out to these websites and see whether or not you can actually offer an article on their website. And if they agree to have your article on their website, then you can actually leave a link in the author bio section, and that can link back to your website or a specific web page. You might also want to kind of create links within that article that you write back to your website as well, or to a specific page if that page has information that's going to kind of further kind of explain the point that you might have been explaining in that particular guest blog article. So it's really important for you to be building relationships with websites that are parallel to yours. Obviously not your direct competitors, but people who are also serving the customers, the clients, the leads that you might want in your business. You know, see if you can build relationships with these websites and build collaborations, because collaborating is a great way to actually gain backlinks back to your website. As well as backlinks, there is also something known as social sharing. Now, this is when your website or a web page is being shared on social media. So for example, you might post one of your blog posts onto Twitter, and that might get shared around a lot on that particular platform. There are also some social bookmarking websites as well, where if your particular article or a link to your article is getting reposted or shared or upvoted a lot, then this can really have a positive impact on your search engine optimization. So a great way to get shares on social media is to build up your social following. So you want to kind of add to the community. Don't just post links to your website on social media, but you want to build a genuine following on social media, whatever platform it is that you feel your potential customers are on. I've done loads of videos on social media marketing, and I'll leave some some in the description down below. Now, moving on swiftly from backlinks, I want to speak about domain authority. I've done a lot of videos on domain authority because it's really important that you understand the concept of domain authority and how it can impact how well your website ranks in the major search engines. Now, a well-known employee from Google, John Mueller, recently tweeted that Google don't actually use domain authority as a ranking factor at all with regards to your website. So why am I talking about domain authority? Now, domain authority is actually a term that is used and that was coined by Moz. Now, Moz is just an SEO company, and obviously they are not Google. So Google are not going to use a third-party tool to decide whether or not they should rank a website and where they should rank that particular website. However, if you have a high domain authority, then it probably means you are doing the right types of things on your website and within your SEO strategy so that the elements of your SEO are in the right place. And if you have a low domain authority, then it probably means you need to improve certain things. So it doesn't mean that if you have a low domain authority that you can't rank in the search engines, and likely as well, if you have a higher domain authority, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that you will be ranked in the search engines, but it's a good indicator to see how well your site is currently performing in search engines and how well your site is deemed in the eyes of some of the major search engines. So just as a quick explanation, your domain authority is a score between 0 and 100, and that determines how authoritative your website is. So if you have a DA or domain authority score of 100, then that means your site is highly authoritative. And likewise, if you have a DA or domain authority of 0, then that probably means that your website isn't highly authoritative at all. And obviously, the higher authority your website has, the more of a chance you have of ranking in the major search engines. You also have something known as PA, which is page authority. Not every single page on your website is going to be as authoritative as the other. So you might have one page on your website that has a page authority of 70, and you might have another page on your website that has a page authority of 20. Different factors will determine what page on your website is more effective than others, and you will have an overall website domain authority as well, and both of these are really important. So as you can see on my computer, I'm actually at the Mozbar website, where you can actually download this Mozbar tool to help you kind of determine how authoritative your website is, but also some of your competitors as well. The Mozbar tool is basically a free Chrome download that you can install onto your Chrome browser, and once you install it, it will come up here with this little M. So I'll leave a link in the description down below to where you can actually go and access this Chrome extension tool, and when you click the link in the description down below, you can access it completely free. And once you access it, I'll show you how you can utilize it. So this is kind of a normal search engine results page. I've typed in red hat for sale, as you can see, and when I scroll down, there's nothing kind of different from your usual search result page. But if I turn my Mozbar tool on simply by clicking on it, you will notice that when I scroll down, I now have a search engine result page that looks slightly different. Now, this shows me the PA and the DA of the different results that are in the search engines. So I can actually decipher whether or not a keyword is maybe a little bit too competitive for me to potentially go after. Now, in the first video that I done, the first video in this series, I spoke about kind of long tail keywords and short tail keywords, and longer tail keywords being less competitive. So you might actually use this tool to determine whether or not a keyword is going to be too competitive for you to go after. So for example, these websites in the search engines at the moment, this one has a DA of 92. This one has a PA of 41. So that means that this domain authority for this entire website is 92, but the PA, the page authority of this particular page, is actually 41. You can also see, if you scroll down, this has a DA, or a domain authority, of 79 and a page authority of 35. So this particular page that is ranking in Google, or in this case is actually Bing that I'm using, but this has a page authority of 35. So if I actually click on this particular website, then the Mozbar tool again will show me that this particular page that I'm on, this particular page has a PA of 35, and the domain, so debenhams.com, has a domain authority of 79, which is pretty high. Now, if I go to a different page, so this particular page on beauty has a page authority of 55. So it's the same website, but a different page has a different page authority. So again, if you want to know more about domain authority, I'll leave some links in the description down below to where you can find out more information. I wanted to swiftly move on to something known as usability. Now, it's not just about the keywords and where you use your keywords. We spoke about keywords in the very first part of this particular video series on SEO, but it's not just about the keywords, and it's not just about domain authority, but there are also other factors that you really want to keep in mind with regards to your search engine optimization. And I wanted to cover those factors within this video. So here are some of the things that you want to keep in mind that are really important to search engines with regards to kind of whether or not your website will be ranked in the search engines at the position where you want to be ranked. Now, the first factor is the age of your site. So I get emails from people all of the time saying, Sam, look, I've just published my website and I'm not finding it in Google. You want to give your website a little bit of time. It takes time for your website to actually be indexed by the major search engines. And also you need to actually build up some reputation. So you need to do some of the strategies that you learned in this video and in the part 1 section of this video, so you can build up and kind of show the search engines that your website deserves to be in the major search engines in the positions that you want to be in, kind of for the keywords that you want to be found for. Also, accuracy of content. Now, you can't game the system anymore. Search engines are getting too wise. You want to make sure that the content that you're giving people is as accurate as it can be. So this includes as well spelling errors and just grammar, and you just want to make sure that you're putting out the best possible content on your website, so you're giving yourself the best possible chance of actually ranking in the major search engines. So the next thing that you want to really keep in mind is the quantity of your content. So you want to look at, like, how much content do you actually have on your website. Now, there's this raging debate whether or not you should have more content, so the quantity or the quality of content, which one should you prioritize? And the short answer is both. The more pages and articles you have on your website, the more opportunities you have to be found in search engines for different keywords. So you want to make sure that you're constantly pumping out content that is of high quality. Now, you don't want to just be writing one paragraph articles. You want to be writing as in-depth articles as possible that really help the need of the person who is searching for whatever it is that they're searching for. If it's a product, then give as much description as possible. I'm going to be doing a video specifically on e-commerce SEO, so make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, so you can really understand the fundamentals of creating really well optimized e-commerce pages. But essentially, whatever keyword you're going for, make sure you create a quality page for that particular keyword, but also you want to have the quantity as well. Another factor that major search engines take into consideration when choosing what particular web pages rank higher than others is page speed. How long does it take for your website to load? Does it take forever? This can actually impact how well your site performs in search. So you want to do your best to kind of optimize the speed of your website. Maybe get in a web developer who can specialize in page load speed. There are also page load speed tools that you can utilize that Google actually offer for free, and these can actually help you to test how fast your website loads. I will leave some in the description down below, so if you want to test how fast your website is, then you can actually use those tools for free to test them. I have videos kind of showing you how to use those tools as well, so I'll leave those resources in the description down below. You also want to think about links. Now, we've spoken about links, and obviously that's a factor that major search engines use. Do you have high authority links pointing to your site? Do you have trashy, rubbish links from low authority websites coming to your site? Again, that can negatively impact how well your site performs. Now, another thing that you want to kind of keep in mind with regards to links that I haven't mentioned yet is that there are some high authority websites that kind of use what's known as no follow links. So they might link back to your website, but they're telling the search engines not to follow that link or not to associate their website with your particular link. Now, this might be the case if, for example, you're leaving a comment on a website's blog and the comment allows you to leave your website, then a lot of people kind of assume that if you leave a comment and your comment is linked to your website, that you will have a backlink to your site, but this is not always the case if that particular site is using no follow links. So that's something that you want to keep in mind. You also want to look into readability. How easy is it for people to actually understand and read the content on your website? Are you using fonts that are just way too difficult to understand? Is your website grammatically correct? Is it structured well? Is it well presented? All of these elements kind of will impact how well your website performs in the major search engines. You might want to get someone to proofread over your article and over your website before you publish it, but you want to make sure that it's simple and easy for people not to just read the content on your site, but also access the different elements on your website as well. I've actually done a video on your silo structure as well, and I'll leave that video in the description down below. That speaks to how your website is structured. What are the different pages and menus and categories on your website? If your website is well organized, then this can help to improve your SEO as well. So make sure you go and check out my video on silo structures to make sure that your website is structured in a way that will help you to rank better in the search engines. Now, lastly, you have structured data. Now, I kind of want to speak about this because structured data is when you give the search engines more information so that they can grab that information and show it potentially to people who are searching the search engines. So for example, when searching the search engines, you might see different results than the normal. So for example, I have typed in how to prevent a cold into Google. I get these 8 steps without even having to click on this website. Now you can do the same thing for your website too. You can also see here people also ask, and you have how do you stop a cold before it starts, and it has a drop down menu to this particular website which shows you some tips before you even click the website. Now this can really help you to gain more clicks in the search engines, and it can actually kind of be more enticing because if you give people 5 tips and those tips seem really useful, then they're a lot more inclined to click on your particular link and go and check out what your website is about. But how do you kind of give Google this information here so that they can use it in their particular search engines? Well, you want to use something known as structured data. Now you can kind of use this particular website, which is Structured Data Markup Helper, and I'll leave a link to it in the description down below. I'll also leave a link to a video where I kind of speak about how to utilize this tool. So if you've never heard of structured data before and you want kind of an in-depth tutorial on it, make sure you go and check that video out, especially if you're kind of running a business or if you have a website that would benefit from structured data. For example, restaurants, you can actually have your menus kind of listed, your menus using structured data. For example, it has different like businesses that would benefit from structured data and using structured data. So articles, events, movies, restaurants, books and reviews. You have job postings, products, software applications, TV episodes, questions and answer pages, local businesses and databases. So if your business is in one of those topics or one of those categories, then you can actually add specific types of structured data to kind of really potentially help you to gain more visibility in the search engines, and so that people can kind of see information before they even click. One thing to note is that it's not guaranteed just because you have structured data on your website that structured data is going to be shown. You do have to kind of implement the other elements of search engine optimization, which I've referenced in part 1 and this particular video. So structured data could be an additional way to boost your SEO, just as all of these tips and strategies are, but you want to use it in conjunction with the other strategies as well. So just as a kind of a quick example, let's say that we had an article that we wanted to add structured data to. I'm going to go to my website and grab an article. So if I go to DeyTips.com, and if I go to my blog, I'm going to pick a random blog article, this e-commerce marketing strategies article, and I'm going to copy the URL here, and I'm going to paste it inside of this structured data markup helper. So what this does, as you can see, is it populates my website on the left hand side, and it also gives me data items. So my data items, things that I can include or add to my particular website as structured data. So for example, I might want to kind of go down to the title of this particular blog article, and if I highlight this, then I can actually tell this particular markup helper what that particular element is. So this might be the name of the article, and when I click that it's the name, you'll see it populates here. So that's the name of my article. I can also kind of see my name here, and I'm the author, so I can go down to author, and I can add that information now as structured data. I can also add different elements as well. Let's say, for example, I wanted to add the article body. So some of the body of the article, I can copy this and select it as article body. And that could now be added as kind of structured data as well. So once you've finished, create HTML, and this will give you your structured data HTML code. You can also change the output as well. If you wanted it to be in microdata, then you can have it in microdata, and you can kind of copy this, or you copy it straight from the helper, or you can download it and you want to upload that to your particular website. So I speak about how to do this in more depth again in my tutorial on using the structured data tool. So you might want to go and check that video out. But if you don't know how to kind of utilize coding on your website or basic coding on your site, then you might want to leave this to a developer to do. But it should be simple and easy enough if you're using a website such as Squarespace, Wix, Weebly, or even Shopify. They have HTML elements that you can utilize on your particular web pages. So you kind of just want to replace your original HTML on your website with this HTML and check that it's working well. You can check that your structured data, once you've published your new particular page, you can check that that page has actually kind of added the structured data to it properly by coming to this particular tool, which is the structured data testing tool. Again, I'll leave this link in the description down below. So this is where you can check that your structured data is actually working. So for example, if I used my website, DeyTips.com, and I run the test, then it will show me what it has detected and all of the structured data elements that it has detected for me. So this is a great indicator whether or not your structured data is showing you the information that you expect it to show you. So hopefully this video has really helped you out. The last thing that I wanted to encourage you guys on with regards to search engine optimization is that SEO is a marathon and not a sprint. As you can see, if you've watched part 1 and watched this video, there are a lot of elements to SEO that you kind of want to think about and kind of want to go over. And I will be doing kind of further videos on SEO and other elements as well of marketing in general that can kind of help to kind of structure your SEO in a cohesive format. Again, I have the formula as well, which is behind me. I will leave a copy of it somewhere on this screen and in the description down below. But the main thing that I want to emphasize to you is it might take some time for you to start ranking in the major search engines for the keywords that you so desire. But don't give up, because once you're ranking, it is a great way to gain free traffic and visitors to your website on a consistent and ongoing basis that could actually provide tangible leads and sales to your business kind of on demand. So it's definitely worth doing. It's definitely worth taking the time out to learn these principles. So I really do hope that this video brought you some value. And again, make sure you download the formula, because the formula is going to teach you not just how to drive traffic to your website using various methods, including SEO, but it's also going to teach you how you can actually turn that traffic into tangible leads and sales for your business, which at the end of the day is the main thing. What's the point of gaining visitors if they're not turning into customers? So I really do hope that this video helped you out, and if it did, then please click the like button down below and make sure you share this video with a friend. If you have any additional questions or comments, then leave them for me in the comment section. But until next time, watch some of my other great videos. Make sure you subscribe to this channel for more awesome business related content. Have a great day. Make sure you download the formula, and I will see you soon.